What's going on, everyone? I hope you've enjoyed the full body split series so far. Starting off full body split day 3 today with a heavy rowing exercise. We have 2 to 6 sets of 3 to 6 reps of the seal row. If you've never performed the seal row exercise, I highly recommend it. Not only does it reduce the load on your lower back, especially compared to the standing barbell counterpart, but it also allows you to strictly target the back musculature. For example, during the barbell row, you're using a lot of glute, hamstrings, and lower back musculature to keep your legs straight and your spine locked in a neutral position. However, with the seal row, since you're lying prone on a bench, it takes the entire posterior chain out of the equation. You can perform the exercise with either a barbell or dumbbells. If you don't have a fancy setup like I do in my gym, you might benefit from using dumbbells because with most benches you can get more range of motion this way. Signoril and colleagues investigated the effects of different hand positions on the EMG activity of various shoulder muscles during the performance of a lat pull-down exercise. The study sought to compare 4 different common variations, including the wide grip anterior, wide grip posterior, supinated grip, and close grip. Their results of the study indicate that the wide grip anterior position elicited the most activation in the latissimus dorsi muscle. And as we remember from full body split day 1, the close grip elicited the most activation in the posterior deltoid muscle. Another article by Andersen and colleagues also studied muscle activation patterns with the lat pull-down exercise. However, in this paper, different grip widths were used, only in the pronated or overhand position pulled anterior to the chest. Andersen and colleagues found that the medium grip position elicited the most activity in all muscles during the study. In addition to this, participants demonstrated their lowest 6 repetition maximum with the wide grip compared to both the narrow and medium grip. So wait a minute, Signoril and colleagues is saying that the wide grip anterior position elicits the most activity in the lats. However, Andersen and colleagues states that the medium grip position elicits the most activity in the lats. So which one's right? If you remember from the first study, Signoril and colleagues examined the wide grip anterior versus the wide grip posterior, close grip, and supinated grip. So when comparing the wide grip anterior to those conditions, the wide grip anterior came out on top for the most activity in the latissimus dorsi. However, in Andersen's article, he compared the wide grip, medium grip, and narrow grip to one another. So in summary, it's more beneficial to use a medium grip compared to a wide grip. As Andersen and colleagues mentioned, the medium grip compared to the wide grip or wide grip anterior in Signoril and colleagues' paper elicits more activity in the latissimus dorsi and allows you to lift more weight and perform more repetitions till failure. And as we mentioned earlier, lifting more weight or performing more repetitions till failure will allow you to build more muscle over time. But it's also a good idea to experiment with different grips or different grip widths, whether or not that's for personal motivation in the gym or just a well-rounded physique. As we mentioned before, the incline bench press, whether dumbbell or barbell, elicits more activity in the clavicular portion of the pectoralis major compared with the decline, horizontal, and vertical. Personally, I like using the incline bench press to target the upper portion of the pec as well as the anterior deltoid. It's a nice pushing movement to add during a full body split. But it is important to keep in mind that both the decline and horizontal or flat bench press elicit more activity in the sternal portion of the pectoralis major compared to the incline. However, if you have been following along with the full body split series, you'll know that we've already included the flat bench press in both the strength and hypertrophy rep range. Earlier in the full body series, we performed the tricep cable pull-down exercise. However, today, to add a little more triceps volume, I'm performing the tricep cable push-down. Try performing both variations of the exercise, or using a different type of bar for the push-down to add a little variety to your exercise split. So as we've mentioned before, using cables are a good way to keep constant tension on the muscle. Plus, training the bicep and tricep muscle groups can become pretty monotonous, so anything you can do to really switch up the variety and keep things fresh is good for both progressive overload and your own motivation. And if you're looking to save a little time in the gym, you could always superset the tricep cable pushdowns with the bicep cable curls. I see some people in the gym performing the dumbbell lateral raise with their elbows as straight as possible, which isn't necessary. In fact, if you leave your elbows completely locked out, it's going to be more difficult to lift heavier weights, as the moment arm, or the distance between the weight and your joint axis, or the shoulder, is going to increase, thus placing a greater demand on the lateral deltoid in a more disadvantageous position. Before we hit the hamstrings, let's first go over their anatomy. The hamstrings are actually three muscles located in the posterior compartment of the thigh. Laterally, or on the outside, we have the biceps femoris, which has a long and a short head. And medially, or on the inner thigh, we have the semitendinosus and semimembranosus. A 2012 article in the British Journal of Sports Medicine compared semitendinosus versus biceps femoris activity across various exercises for the hamstrings. Their study concluded that both kettlebell swings and the Romanian deadlift targeted the semitendinosus over the biceps femoris, whereas the supine leg curl, as you saw me doing in this video, specifically targeted the biceps femoris more than the semitendinosus and membranosus muscles. So if you want to optimize your hamstrings training and develop all portions of the muscle equally, I suggest choosing a variety of hamstrings exercises that we've seen across these full body day videos. I think a common misconception in the gym is that the back squat targets the hamstrings, where in fact EMG data suggests the hamstrings aren't really active during a back squat. In fact, the lying leg curl and straight leg deadlift produce significantly more activation of the hamstrings than the back squat. And since the activity in the hamstrings were equal during the lying leg curl and straight leg deadlift, both are valuable exercises to include in your lifting routine, especially because, as we mentioned earlier, they're targeting different portions of the hamstrings as well. Depending on what type of leg extension machine you're using, there's probably plenty of ways to adjust the seat back angle, the lower leg pads, etc. A 2005 article by Gomez et al. Studied the effects of seat back angle during the leg extension on both back and quadriceps muscle activity. The results show that at 1.57 radians, or a seat back angle of 90 degrees, elicited the most activity in the quadriceps muscles while reducing the demand on the back extensors. If you are using a leg extension machine that allows you to alter the seat back angle, I would try going with 90 degrees based on this article. However, as a general rule of thumb, you should be adjusting any piece of weightlifting equipment to fit your body's unique anatomy. A 2005 article by Stoutenberg and colleagues examined the effects of foot position on the EMG activity of the superficial quadriceps muscles during the bilateral knee extension exercise. The results of their study show that a toe-out position elicited the most activity in the rectus femoris muscle, whereas a toe-in position elicited the most activity in both the vastus medialis and the vastus lateralis muscles. Lateralis, medialis, what? So if you guys remember from Full Body Split Day 2, we talked about the quadriceps here, and the medialis is that nice teardrop looking muscle, which is the envy of all people looking to build up their quadriceps. However, the vastus lateralis shouldn't be forgotten as it has more cross-sectional area, or it's a larger muscle, than the vastus medialis. So if you're really looking to build up your quadriceps to a point that would make even Tom Platz himself envious, and if you don't know who that is, you should go Google Tom Platz, you should try performing the leg extension exercise with the toes turned in, as it's hitting both the vastus medialis and lateralis. And turning the toes out would hit the rectus femoris, or the middle, feather-like looking muscle there. Well, that's it everyone, another full body day complete. Stick around, because Full Body Split Day 4 is coming out soon. Please subscribe to the channel, and as always, leave a comment below on anything else that you guys want to hear about. Thanks for watching, everyone.